Fear of flying, aviophobia, overcoming the sky-high terror. Hello there, and welcome to today's video. If you're enjoying this content about human fears and how to overcome them, please consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss an episode. Today, we're diving into one of the most common phobias worldwide, aviophobia, or the fear of flying. So buckle up as we navigate through the turbulence of this anxiety together. Introduction, imagine this. Sarah Johnson from Minneapolis has an amazing job opportunity in San Francisco. The position is perfect. Better pay, career advancement, and a company she's always dreamed of working for. There's just one problem. She'd need to fly there for the interview, and the mere thought of stepping onto an airplane makes her heart race. Her palms sweat, and her mind spiral into catastrophic thoughts. Sarah is among the estimated 25 million Americans who suffer from aviophobia. But what exactly causes this fear? Why do perfectly rational people become overwhelmed with terror at the thought of something statistically safer than their daily commute by car? And most importantly, how can those affected break free from these chains of fear? Understanding aviophobia. Aviophobia isn't simply being a little nervous before takeoff. It's an intense, sometimes debilitating fear that can manifest in various ways. For some, like 42-year-old accountant Mike Thompson from Boston, it means refusing job promotions that require travel. For others, like college student Emma Rodriguez from Texas, it means taking a 36-hour bus ride instead of a 3-hour flight to visit family. This fear doesn't discriminate. It affects people of all ages, backgrounds, and education levels. Even some celebrities like Jennifer Aniston and Ben Affleck have openly discussed their struggles with flying anxiety. The roots of flying fear. What makes aviophobia particularly interesting is that it can stem from multiple sources. Loss of control. For many sufferers, the core issue is control, or rather the lack of it. Take James Wilson, a successful CEO from Chicago who manages hundreds of employees and makes critical decisions daily. In his office, James is confident and in command, but on a plane, he must surrender control to pilots he's never met and systems he doesn't understand. When I'm driving, I can stop if I feel uncomfortable, James explains. On a plane, I'm trapped thousands of feet in the air with no escape. That helplessness is what terrifies me. Media influence and catastrophic thinking. When United Airlines Flight 175 crashed into the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001, the images were broadcast worldwide and replayed countless times. For 35-year-old teacher Lisa Martinez from Denver, who previously had no issues flying, these images triggered a fear that persists 2 decades later. The media's tendency to extensively cover plane crashes while ignoring the thousands of flights that land safely each day creates a skewed perception of danger. A single crash makes headlines for weeks, while the 45,000 flights that take off and land safely in the U.S. daily receive no attention. This leads to catastrophic thinking, the tendency to imagine the worst possible outcome. David Parker, a psychologist specializing in phobias, explains, when someone with aviophobia hears a normal sound during flight, they don't think, that's just the landing gear. They immediately jump to, the plane is breaking apart. Claustrophobia connection. For some, like 28-year-old nurse Ashley Williams from Seattle, the fear isn't about crashing, but about being confined in a small space with no immediate way out. I start to feel the panic rising as soon as the cabin door closes, Ashley shares. It's not that I think the plane will crash, it's the feeling of being trapped that I can't handle. Traumatic experiences. Sometimes aviophobia stems from a negative flying experience. Robert Garcia, a 50-year-old professor from New York, developed his fear after experiencing severe turbulence on a flight from Chicago to Phoenix. We dropped what felt like hundreds of feet in seconds, Robert recalls. Logically, I know turbulence is like driving over bumps, but my body remembers that terror and goes into fight or flight mode at the mere thought of boarding a plane. The physical and emotional experience. What exactly happens when someone with aviophobia faces flying? The symptoms can be both physical and psychological. Physical symptoms often include rapid heartbeat and breathing, sweating and trembling, nausea or stomach discomfort, chest tightness or pain, dizziness, or lightheadedness. Psychological symptoms typically involve overwhelming sense of doom, feeling detached from reality, fear of losing control or going crazy, intense anxiety or panic attacks, obsessive thoughts about plane crashes. For 31-year-old marketing executive Olivia Chen from Los Angeles, these symptoms start days before a scheduled flight. I begin having nightmares about plane crashes a week before flying, she says. By the day of the flight, I've barely slept, can't eat, and sometimes even develop a fever from the stress. The ripple effects. The impact of aviophobia extends far beyond the flight itself. It can affect career opportunities, family relationships, and quality of life. Consider the case of Michael Davis, a talented architect from Portland who turned down a prestigious international position because it required frequent travel. Or Karen Thompson, who has never met her husband's family in England because she can't face the transatlantic flight. The economic impact is substantial too. Some people drive hundreds of miles instead of flying, spending more money and time while actually increasing their statistical risk of accident. Others pay for expensive alternative transportation or miss out on vacation deals limited to air travel. Breaking free, overcoming aviophobia. Now for the good news, aviophobia is highly treatable. With the right approach, even those with severe flying anxiety can learn to manage or overcome their fear. Here are proven strategies: education and understanding. For many people, knowledge is power. Understanding how aircraft work, what causes various sounds and sensations during flight, and the extensive safety protocols in place can significantly reduce anxiety. Tom Reynolds, a former aviophobe from Philadelphia, found relief through an aviation course. Learning that planes are designed to withstand far more stress than they ever encounter in normal operation was eye-opening, he says. Understanding that turbulence is an air circulation issue, not a safety issue, made a huge difference. Did you know that commercial aircraft can fly safely with just one engine? Or that planes are struck by lightning regularly with no effect on safety? Or that pilots undergo rigorous training for every conceivable emergency scenario? These facts can help replace catastrophic thoughts with realistic understanding. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. CBT is considered the gold standard for treating phobias. This approach helps identify and challenge irrational thoughts and gradually exposes the person to the feared situation. Jessica Williams, a 40-year-old teacher from Atlanta, worked with a therapist who specialized in CBT for anxiety disorders. We started by just looking at pictures of planes, then watching videos of flights. Eventually, we visited an airport and sat in the terminal watching planes take off and land. Each step was challenging but manageable, and the fear decreased each time. Virtual reality exposure. Modern technology offers innovative solutions. Virtual reality programs can simulate the entire flying experience, from boarding to landing, allowing people to face their fears in a controlled environment. Ryan Thompson, a tech entrepreneur from San Francisco, used VR exposure therapy. The headset made it feel incredibly real, the cabin, the sounds, even the sensation of takeoff. I could practice flying multiple times a week without buying tickets, and my therapist could guide me through panic moments in real time. Medication options. For some, medication provides necessary relief. Anti-anxiety medications like benzodiazepines can be prescribed for occasional flyers, while beta blockers help manage the physical symptoms of anxiety. Dr. Sarah Johnson, a psychiatrist specializing in anxiety disorders, explains, medication isn't a cure, but it can be an effective tool, especially when combined with therapy. For someone who flies rarely, a prescribed anti-anxiety medication can make the difference between being able to attend a destination wedding or missing it entirely. Practical coping strategies. Beyond formal treatment, many former aviophobes swear by practical coping techniques, distraction techniques. Emily Wilson from Minneapolis found relief through immersive distraction. I download a new gripping TV series specifically for flights. Getting absorbed in a compelling story keeps my mind occupied. Breathing exercises. Controlled breathing can counteract the body's stress response. The 4-7-8 technique, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 7, exhale for 8, has helped many anxious flyers, including 45-year-old lawyer Daniel Martinez from Miami. When I feel panic rising, Focusing on my breath gives me something to control and physically calms my nervous system. Choosing the right seat. For some, seat selection makes a significant difference. Window seats help those who need to see what's happening, while aisle seats benefit those who fear feeling trapped. Flying companions. Having a supportive travel companion can be invaluable. Kevin Johnson credits his wife's calm presence for helping him overcome his fear. She would hold my hand during takeoff and distract me with conversation. Having someone I trust beside me made me feel safer. Success stories. From fear to freedom. Let's look at some inspiring examples of people who've overcome aviophobia. Rebecca's journey. Rebecca Thompson, a 38-year-old teacher from Chicago, couldn't even drive past an airport without experiencing anxiety. After her son moved to California for college, she knew something had to change. I started with therapy, then joined a fear of flying course run by pilots and therapists. The course culminated in a short actual flight. I was terrified, but having the group support and expert guidance made it possible. Now, 3 years later, I've flown to visit my son 6 times. I still get nervous, but it's manageable anxiety, not debilitating fear. Mark's transformation. Mark Davis, a 52-year-old business consultant from Boston, avoided flying for 20 years after a panic attack on a flight. His turning point came when he missed his daughter's destination wedding. Missing that day made me realize how much this fear was stealing from me. I tried medication first, which helped me get through one necessary flight. Then I committed to weekly therapy sessions. The key for me was gradual exposure combined with mindfulness techniques. Last year I flew to Europe, something I never thought possible again. When should you seek help? If your fear of flying is affecting your quality of life, career, or relationships, it's time to seek help. You don't have to live with this limitation. Professional support is available through psychologists and therapists specializing in anxiety disorders, fear of flying courses, many airlines offer these, support groups, both in-person and online, aviation enthusiast communities who can provide factual information. The bigger picture, what aviophobia teaches us. Beyond the practical aspects of overcoming this specific fear, aviophobia offers broader lessons about human psychology and resilience. Dr. Michael Roberts, a psychologist from New York University, explains, phobias like aviophobia demonstrate how our minds can create limitations that aren't based in reality, but they also show our remarkable capacity for change. When someone overcomes a deeply entrenched fear, they often experience not just freedom from that specific anxiety, but a broader sense of empowerment that transfers to other areas of life. Many former aviophobes report that conquering their fear of flying gave them confidence to face other challenges. As Emma Wilson from Dallas puts it, after I managed to take that first flight, I thought, if I can do something that terrified me for 15 years, what else might I be capable of? It changed my whole outlook on challenges. Conclusion. Aviophobia may be common, but it doesn't have to be permanent. With understanding, proper support, and commitment to change, even the most severe flying anxiety can be overcome. The sky doesn't have to be a limit. It can be the beginning of new possibilities. Whether you're currently struggling with this fear or supporting someone who is, remember that thousands of people have successfully moved from white-knuckle terror to comfortable flying. The journey may be challenging, but the destination, freedom from fear, is worth every step. If you're facing aviophobia, consider which approach might work best for you. Could education help demystify your fears? Might therapy provide the structured support you need? Or perhaps gradual exposure combined with coping techniques would suit your situation. Whatever path you choose, know that you're not alone and that freedom from this fear is possible. The next time you see a plane overhead, it could represent not a source of anxiety, but an opportunity for adventure. Thank you so much for watching today's video about aviophobia. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content about understanding and overcoming common fears. Share your experiences or questions in the comments below. Your insight might help someone else on their journey. Until next time, remember that on the other side of fear lies freedom.